it's Desiree, and we are here with day 6 of our Christmas series. And you know in that picture, it said push here, so you know what that means. We're going to get lit. Okay, we're going to light up our card. Today I am featuring Memory Box and their Snowman House frame. Now I'm just using this die here. There is a separate die that's available that creates the base, because you saw there's a hole at the top. So many possibilities with this. I'm going to start with everything that this card is going to sit on. All right, so I've got a piece of mirror cardstock, and we are going to set that down onto a piece of aqua cardstock that is cut to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be a standard A2 size card, and it's going to be a top folding card. I've die cut the frame many times. So on this white, I'm going to use my clear ink, and I'm using a sentiment from the Penny Black Christmas Sentiment stamp set that says Winter Wishes, and I'm going to use my silver embossing powder, and I'm going to heat set that. Now once that's heat set, I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut that away from this frame. I added a little bit of tumbled glass distress oxide, and now I'm just going to cut along of those edges. I want that to be propped up just a little bit. I've die cut the frame also from a tan and 2 more times from a heavyweight white cardstock, and I'm just going to layer them up. That's going to give me some dimension. The centerpiece that's die cut, I'm going to use my tumbled glass, I'm going to use broken china, and I will also be using, I think, prize ribbon here for my, prize ribbon to add to the top. I'm not worried about what this blend looks like. I don't need or want a smooth blend. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this with my spray bottle. And I actually do lift that away. It's very rare that I do that. I usually just let it dry naturally. But I knew when I lift these up that it would be white underneath. So it's going to add to the snow effect. I have also here a white panel that's cut to 3 3/4 by 5. Because we need this lifted up just a little bit. Now, this is a tool that I got from Fun Stamper's Journey. I love this tool. It's a hole punch, but you don't have to, the card doesn't go in it. You're going right on top, so you can put your holes anywhere that you want. If this piece of equipment is still available, I will make sure that it's linked down below. And it has different sizes as well for the hole punches. But you don't have to worry about, is this going to fit in my hole puncher? You don't have to get that big bite and have it through. I just love that thing. And there are other models out there that you can get on Amazon, but I will see if the Fun Stamper's Journey is still available. I took one of the other ones, white centers that were die cut, and I trimmed around it just a little bit. And I drew around that for my panel. I need to know where I'm going to have the light sit. The one that I added my inks to and put the holes in, I'm going to add glue and add a piece of vellum. We're actually going to have 2 layers of vellum. I'm now going to take my craft knife and I'm going to cut along these lines. Again, it's a little bit smaller than what that actual opening is, and I'm okay with that because the holes aren't going to the edge that I put on that blue panel for the sky. I'm now going to glue all of these layers that I have together on top of this panel, making sure that it's centered. I'm not looking for it to be centered on the cutout. I want it to be centered on my panel. I'm going to take another piece of vellum and put that there. So it's almost like we're doing, that shaker card bit. But I did want 2 layers of vellum. That'll soften the light that's going to come through. I'm using my paper creaser to push down that center piece so that that's pushed down to the bottom. The lights that I'm using are by Pear Blossom Press. Now they have different types. They have 3 types. They have the one with the 3 strings coming off. They have this one, which is just one single light. Just one. That's all. Light's going to flash, so I apologize. It's very bright. And then they also have the halo one, which is even brighter. But you can see that when that comes through, it's coming through those holes and it's creating a halo. I know this light is going to sit at the base in the center. So I'm going to work on the die cuts now. I've die cut them a couple times just to give them some strength. I'm going to use my alcohol markers just to add colors so that I didn't constantly change my cardstock too many times. Excuse me. And then for the trees, I'm going to layer the different colors. So we're just going to keep layering those up. There's a big tree and a small tree, but you can make them any size that you would want to make them. So have fun with it. Again, they're just die cuts. It's just paper. Have fun. If you want to make them taller, just keep using the flat. You don't want to use the points. That means that you're at the top of the tree. You could add stars to your trees as embellishment. Again, always when you have all of these die cuts that are available, think of what else you can use with them. How can you change them? How differently can you use them, if that makes sense? I'm going to start with the placement. Now, I wanted to make sure that I got my sentiment in place. And again, I have that next layer that's coming up from the frame. I'm going to use some double-sided foam tape because remember, our background, the sky, is pushed back down into that die cut. I'm double layering the hat, and I also double layered the scarf. And again, I'm just going to come in with some alcohol markers and just color them. I'm not looking to blend, but I'm also going to go around the edges just to make sure that you don't see that white edge. And I'm going to make sure that I always put, and you'll see this through the video, so if I have a dark colored cardstock, or if it's black, it goes onto my white section so that I don't lose it. There are pieces sometimes I lose. And I do the same thing with the scarf, and I went with a red for that. I'm coming in with the bullet tip of one of my alcohol markers for the nose, and I'm using the bullet nib for my black for his coal buttons and eyes, and then I'm using a brown for his arms. And again, always going around the edges to get rid of that white. I'm going to set the scarf in place and then also set the hat in place as well. Remember to grab a pink for the cheeks. And again, adding some double-sided foam squares there too, and then just resting him up onto that hillside. And then just I had to add a very small piece to the back of his hat because it definitely sits off. So I wanted to make sure that that was going to stay in place as well. I'm adding some of a very pale aqua color to the sides of him, just to give him some shape. So now I'm looking at where I want this placed, and I'm going to draw around it. And that solid part of this is going to go against the card. So the light itself is going to be turned away from where that light is coming. And again, just knowing where that's sitting. And I have that positioned behind the snowman. And you'll see why I do in a moment. why I actually reversed that. Now, at the same time, since I have that, if you remember, our silver panel had a cutout. So it was going to be on the other side of this, the aqua paper coming through. I'm using some double-sided foam tape, and I've doubled it, and I'm just going to fill in the back of this to protect that mechanism. Now, you can see I don't have a piece of paper between the battery or the mechanism. So this is not one that I'm going to mail. This is one that I'm going to hand deliver to someone. So, and that's just something that you want to think about. If you're going to mail a card that's lit up, you want to make sure that you have that piece of cardstock there and then just have pull written on the end of it so that when they pull it out and they push, they know that, okay, that's what we need to do. But since I'm hand delivering it, I'm not going to put that piece of cardstock in there. I'm adding a little bit of glue, and if you noticed, I put a piece of white cardstock to the base of that. It'll help brighten the light. The reflection will be brighter coming off of the white cardstock. If you want it darker, then you could just let it be the aqua and it wouldn't have been as bright. So of course, I apologize for all the flashing going on there, but I forgot to put my push here button there. And you can see that the highlight is completely behind the snowman. I did not add any splatters to this because the light, and it looks really bright when it comes through on the dark. I think it looks better with the lights on because it looks like a skeleton of a snowman there. But the light makes it look like snow is falling. So I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I showed you a different way to use a different set of lights and what my reasoning was for the position of it and what I was looking at there. All the products that I used, as long as they're still available, will be listed down below. Remember, I'm digging into my stash just like I want you to do as well. So some of the products that I'm using may no longer be available. So I apologize, but don't get upset. If you have a question, make sure you leave that down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed day 6, like I said, and stay tuned for day 7. We are continuing through our Christmas series. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, but always remember what's most important for me. Always be creative. I'll talk to you in day 7. Till then.